All right, YouTube, we got a lot to break down tonight. So we got Terence Crawford, Teofimo Lopez, Comey fight, Lomachenko, all that. So look, I encourage you to listen to the entire video. We're gonna check out my group Counterpunch Boxing. Check out the fan reaction on social media. Go to Google, check out the headlines. The boxing headlines, all that good stuff. So just kick back, relax, and like I said, I can't blaze through the video, too much to talk about. So first, I want to talk about the Lopez fight. Now, I was reading an article before the fight today. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning right now. I just watched the fight. I got home late, recorded it, had to watch it, whatever. So anyway, now, I almost knew, I'll say almost, I literally knew what was going to happen. I just felt, the power was too much. You got Comey looking at the resume here. Here, let me pull it up real quick. Where are we at here? Beltran, the dude before Ray Beltran was 13-1. Okay. Dude before that, Yardley, was 24 with 10 losses. Come on, 10 losses. So I don't know. I didn't quite understand the hype for the fight. This is like the big test for Lopez, but I understand because, he didn't look too good in his last fight. Lopez didn't. But, we know he's got all the problems. They're talking about, he got married, went on a vacation, whatever, on his honeymoon or some shit like that. He's like crying on the plane, on the way home. His girlfriend, was kissed him on the forehead. I was reading this article. It was like a romantic novel. I'm like, what the hell is this crap? It was from like ESPN or something. But anyway, the dude's like, having this like emotional breakdown. He didn't even want to come back to boxing. He comes back, makes a huge, statement tonight against Comey. But we knew it was going to happen. Okay. I was looking at his resume as well. And, really, who's the biggest name on there? I'm looking at it right now. Mason Menard? I don't know who. I really don't know. I think Comey was really the first real test. And like I said, his last fight was a UD against a guy that was 18-0. Okay, unanimous decision. So, but anyway, enough about that. We had Lomachenko, he was, front and center watching the fight. Now, if you're Lomachenko, you got to be impressed, right? You have to be impressed. It's kind of hard not to be. And also, I learned a lot tonight. I don't know, it was one of those nights where, boxing is a funny thing because, you think you know it all, but then you learn something. I learned a lot tonight. I learned a lot about Terence Crawford. I kind of changed the way I look at things. But anyway, let me get into, my opinion on everything, and, we'll get to the other good stuff. So, but by the way, come check out my group here, Counterpunch Boxing, if you guys want to debate. Look, check it out right here. You send a notification if you send a request to join. I click this button right here, and then boom, your name will pop up right there, and I'll hit approve, whatever. So that's how it works. So just go to Facebook, Counterpunch Boxing, TALK, talk. You got to put that talk in there. Otherwise, other groups that have literally stolen my name will pop up. So make sure you put that talk at the end of it. So look, let me see. What am I looking at here? Anyway, we'll stick to that for now. So, all right, first of all, like I said, this is my favorite kind of matchup. Okay, both guys, great power, powerful dudes, quick jab, fundamentally talented, exciting to watch. And again, you had Lomachenko in the crowd, ringside watching. And I like that. I like when, that's pressure. You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine if you're in that ring? That's got to be a lot of pressure. So now, like I said, going into this, I had Lopez winning all day. I knew his power would be too much for Comey, but the question, will it be too much for Loma, right? That's why I was watching tonight. I already knew what was going to happen against Comey. And look, Comey's a great fighter. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to say he's a hype job, but just Lopez is too much for him. Lopez, he's too much for a lot of people. He's big for the division. Max Kellerman broke it down brilliantly. Go watch, Kellerman's take on it. Here, we'll click over to the headlines real quick while I'm going over all this stuff. And you guys can check out the headlines here. So Teofimo Lopez next fight. Anyway, read the headlines. So, okay, IBF title on the line, right? Okay, of course, Lomachenko has the other 3 major belts. Bob Arum said the fight is like 95% sure. He's positive it will happen if he gets past Comey. Of course, he got past Comey. So now, it's all but there. I think we'll probably get it probably like February, I think, maybe March of 2020. So now, if you watch the Comey Lopez fight, what did you notice, right? What did you notice? Comey was landing the right hand, right? And Lopez, look, like I said, Lopez didn't look so great in his last fight, so he has shown signs of vulnerability, okay? He's been vulnerable. And I think Loma will do an even better job at exposing that weakness because, look, the guy gets hit, he gets touched, he gets hit too much, okay? So, and he's incredibly emotional, he is. I mean, I think he's just kind of young, dumb, all that kind of thing, just really emotional. Like I said, the dude had like a mental breakdown on the plane on the way home. Got a lot going on with his family, stuff like that. It seems like his girlfriend has got him all twisted in the head, So I think that's going to play, a major factor in the Loma fight. That's a lot of pressure to be under, and so far, he operates, pretty good under pressure, but I don't know. I mean, that's the big stage. I mean, you're up against Lomachenko. They're, they're going to market that fight. It's going to be a huge fight, pay-per-view, whatever, ESPN Plus. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to be too much. And I don't think he should jump right in. Now, as a boxing fan, of course, I want to see him jump into the Lomachenko fight, but I think it's going to be too much for him right now. So, but let me get to Terence Crawford real quick. Now, Terence Crawford, I do think he is one of the greatest boxers of our generation, right? Humble, not like Mayweather. He's a good role model to the young upcoming fighters. But the problem is the PBC stable. You guys can see I put a post up right here. Here, read that real quick. Look, they're all hiding. It's almost like he's getting a taste of what it's like to be Gennady Golovkin. All these dudes are ducking and hiding behind the promotional banner. You guys, I mean, where's Spence? I know he's in a car wreck, okay? I get it and all that, but even before the wreck, Spence was like, nah, I'm going to fight this dude, and then maybe Terence Crawford. Keith Thurman, he's, what has he done in the welterweight division? Like, well, what have you done in the welterweight division other than get beat by old Manny Pacquiao, right? I mean, they're all just basically blowing him off like he's nothing, like he's nobody. And Terence Crawford, he said, look, that's what I don't like. These people don't give me, my proper respect. I'm undisputed at light welterweight. I'm willing to fight anyone at welterweight, and these guys are hiding behind Al Heyman and PBC. Now, you could say the same thing if you're PBC. Well, he's hiding behind Bob Arum and Top Rank, but I don't believe that. I mean, look, Bob Arum is one of the greatest promoters of all time, going back to Muhammad Ali. Bob Arum's not known for ducking big fights. He tried to make the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight forever. Finally, it happened. That was all Mayweather, and now Mayweather, has a major influence with Al Heyman and the PBC stable. So it's the same thing. It's the same blueprint. Wait him out, let him lose, let him hurt, let his, confidence weaken, let the money get to his head, and then we'll fight him. It's not the best fighting the best. It's, let's just wait until we think we have the upper hand. And that's exactly what Al Heyman is doing with Spence and Crawford. And that's even given that Spence is even going to come back. We don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I've heard a lot of rumors, from people that I know in Dallas, stuff like that, because I'm out of Houston, and I got family out in Dallas. So I've heard a lot of rumors, like the wreck was a lot worse than they were actually, showing to the public or whatever. I've heard a lot of just rumors. I'm not going to spread a bunch of gossip, but we don't know what's going to happen with Spence. So probably I would imagine, if I had to guess, I would say Sean Porter, Crawford. I think Al Heyman, we know they don't have a good relationship with Kenny and Sean Porter, so I think, that's kind of the sacrificial lamb. They would be willing to show or to throw Sean Porter, in the lion's den with Terence Crawford, kind of like to test the waters, because we know if Crawford beats Porter, then, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he could at least it'd be a good competitive fight against Spence. I mean, we already know that it is, but that would solidify it, is what I'm trying to say. So, now, like I said, Crawford, okay, and, I watched an interview with him and Andre Ward. He basically said, look, the question was something like, why aren't you promoting the fight? Why aren't you more vocal in the media? Why aren't you, making noises? You need to be out there, calling Spence out, and he's like, no, I don't want to be like Mayweather. I want to fight. He said, I'm the type of dude that if I want to fight you, that's it. I want to fight you. I'm not going to, be a drama queen. I'm not going to make a bunch of noise in the media, but you almost have to because yes, it is the fight business, but it's also the entertainment business. And look, that's just the world you live in. If I'm talking to Crawford, I'm going to say, look, that's the world you live in. You have to. It's all about social media, the hype, building up a fight, etc. You guys know. I'm gonna let you read. I'm just kind of scrolling through my group right now as I talk. I'm just talking off the top of my head, guys. So Crawford has got some major holes, got knocked down in the second by nobody. 50 comments. Now, okay, of course, look, we'll read. Of course, the guy is not a nobody. We know this, okay? We all know this. I mean, let's see right here. And he closed them holes, dummy. Not exactly a nobody. Top 10 Ring Magazine welterweight. A move up to 160 to fight Canelo. I think not after watching that. I want to see Crawford. What? He started slow and probably underestimated his opponent. Came on strong after he got embarrassed a little and showed that mean streak. Now, I totally agree with that comment because, look, when I saw and I think that was a legitimate knockdown. They ruled it a slip, but I think he got knocked down. But yes, I think he underestimated the dude. Dude, I mean, what is he, a two-time Olympic champion, his opponent tonight? So, he underestimated him, and he got caught. And the guy showed up to fight. He came to win. He didn't come to lay down, so I like that. And I think Crawford was a little bit surprised by that, but I wouldn't call it exposed. That's boxing. You underestimate your opponent, you get clipped. He got clipped. It happened. Now, it don't look good. Okay, I want to be honest. I'm not trying to be a Crawford cheerleader here. It definitely doesn't look good. Okay. Let's see. Kevin is nobody but Crawford. Didn't make an argument for pound, number one, with that performance. I guess, I don't know. I mean, he basically resorted to just brute strength and power is what he did. He resorted to power. He got clipped, he got embarrassed. And that's the thing. When you hit Crawford, he's going to make you pay. But isn't that the blueprint? Shouldn't that be the blueprint? Like, if you hurt Crawford, he's gonna start swinging. Like, he's gonna start windmilling on punches, right? You know what I mean? So I think maybe that's the blueprint right there. If I'm a coach, I'm gonna say, look, all you gotta do is catch him, and then when he gets pissed off, time him, right? I mean, because you can almost predict. Look, Terence Crawford doesn't like to be touched. He doesn't like to be hit. He doesn't like to be embarrassed. So, I think that's the blueprint to beat Crawford. Just land one punch and then time him, because he's going to open up on you. And that's exactly what he did. I mean, he did. So, but you have to give it up to Crawford, just like Lomachenko got knocked down by Linares, he got up to win the fight. And Loma won the fight, in dramatic, impressive fashion. But speaking of that, I want to talk about that knockdown, Linares, because it makes me think of Lopez. So, that's my thing with Lopez. I think it's basically going to be, boxer, puncher versus elite boxer. Okay, I mean, styles make fights. Boxer, puncher being Lopez, elite being Lomachenko. So can he stay away from that power? Right? And we know Lopez is big for the division. They even talked about Lopez possibly moving up to like light welterweight in the near future because he's growing out of the 135-pound division. So he's big for the weight. And Loma is small for the weight, kind of like Linares. So we know Linares, he dropped Loma. So it could happen. We could see Loma get hurt in that fight. But I think Loma wins on points. But he's got to stay away from the power. But and look, here's what you have to respect about Lomachenko. Now, how do you avoid power? Think about Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua. Jab, grab, hug, hold, run, jab, grab. But Loma, he does it with beautiful boxing skills and ability and talent. He does it with footwork, with head movement, with counter punching. His offense is his defense, right? So that's what's great about Lomachenko. And I understand how people don't give this dude credit, but they give guys like Tank Davis a ton of credit. I mean, the bias is real in boxing. So anyway, let me wrap it up, guys. My takeaway tonight is, like I said, I have a newfound respect for Terence Crawford. I like that, he's like, staying humble. But I do wish he would be a little bit more vocal, about, the politics in boxing, because we all know politics, it's ruining boxing. So I wish he would open up a little bit more about that. But regardless, you kind of have to take him as he is. Now, look, the Spence, and I thought about this tonight. I actually have a cup, like a drinking cup at home, and it's Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard. And I was looking at it tonight thinking, that's kind of like Spence and Crawford, right? I mean, maybe it's not the best comparison, but I would probably say Spence would be Hagler and Crawford would be Sugar Ray Leonard of our generation. It'd be, I think, a similar style. And what I'm getting at, it's just the fight's got to happen. I mean, look, right now, if you look at 2019, I mean, what are the biggest fights that happened? What are the most impressive fights that happened? Probably in the heavyweight division, I'd say. I mean, I don't know if I'm forgetting or leaving out anything. I mean, Canelo didn't do much. Gennady Golovkin didn't do much. Manny Pacquiao, well, he beat Thurman. That was big in the welterweight division. I mean, we had a couple of tournaments in the lower division. Those are impressive. Like Regis Progresius, stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, yes, but I don't know. I think 2019 was kind of a dud for boxing overall. And like I said, I was looking at that cup earlier, thinking about just how great boxing was, there's always been promotional struggles back and forth, things like that, politics in boxing, but we really need the Spence Crawford fight is my point. We really need the Teofimo Lopez Lomachenko fight is my point. We need the Gennady Golovkin trilogy with Canelo, although I don't want to see it, but it's unfinished business and it must happen, and I think it will happen, so I'm getting off track. But anyway, guys, what do you think? Where do you rank Terence Crawford on your pound-for-pound list? I'd really like to know that. And who do you have winning between Lopez and Vasily Lomachenko?